Shalom Ashbeka. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel, Tina Alyshaba. Today's scripture reading will be out of Yovheliym Chapter 4. And if you haven't already, grab your Cepher to follow along. Now let's get started. Chapter 4. And in the 3rd week, in the 2nd Jubilee, she gave birth to Cain. And in the 4th, she gave birth to Abel. And in the 5th, she gave birth to her daughter, Awan. And in the 1st year of the 3rd Jubilee, Cain slew Abel because Yahuwah accepted the sacrifice of Abel and did not accept the offering of Cain. And he slew him in the field, and his blood cried from the ground to heaven, complaining because he had slain him. And Yahuwah reproved Cain because of Abel, because he had slain him, and made him a fugitive on the earth because of the blood of his brother. And he cursed him upon the earth. And on this account it is written on the heavenly tablets, Cursed is he who smites his neighbor treacherously, and let all who have seen and heard say, So be it. And the man who has seen and declared it not, let him be accursed as the other. And for this reason, we announce when we come before Yahuwah Eloheinu, all the sin which is committed in heaven and on earth, and in light and in darkness, and everywhere. And Adam and his woman mourned for Abel 4 weeks of years, and in the 4th year of the 5th week they became joyful. And Adam knew his woman again, and she bore him a son, and called his name Sheth. For he said, Yahuwah has raised up a second seed unto us on the earth, instead of Abel, for Cain slew him. And in the 6th week he begat his daughter Azurah. And Cain took Awan his sister to be his woman, and she bore him Enoch at the close of the 4th Jubilee. And in the 1st year of the 1st week of the 5th Jubilee, houses were built on the earth. And Cain built a city, and called its name after the name of his son Enoch. And Adam knew Chawah his woman, and she bore him yet 9 sons. And in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, Sheth took Azurah his sister to be his woman. And in the 4th year of the 6th week she bore him Enoch. He began to call on the name of Yahuwah on the earth. And in the 7th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, Enoch took Naam his sister to be his woman, and she bore him a son in the 3rd year of the 5th week. And he called his name Canaan. And at the close of the 8th Jubilee, Canaan took Behutheleth his sister to be his woman, and she bore him a son in the 9th Jubilee, in the 1st week, in the 3rd year of this week. And he called his name Mahalalel. And in the 2nd week of the 10th Jubilee, Mahalalel took unto him to be his woman Dinah, the daughter of Barachiel, the daughter of his father's brother, and she bore him a son in the 3rd week, in the 6th year. And he called his name Yared, for in his days the angels of Yahuwah descended on the earth, those who are named the Watchers, that they should instruct the children of men, and that they should do judgment and uprightness on the earth. And in the 11th Jubilee, Yared took himself a woman, and her name was Barakah, the daughter of Rusiel, a daughter of his father's brother, in the 4th week of this Jubilee, and she bore him a son in the 5th week, in the 4th year of the Jubilee. And he called his name Enoch. And he was the first among men that are born on earth who learned writing and knowledge and wisdom, and who wrote down the signs of heaven according to the order of their mouths in a Cepher, that men might know the seasons of the years according to the order of their separate months. and he was the first to write a testimony, and he testified to the sons of men among the generations of the earth, and recounted the weeks of the Jubilees, and made known to them the days of the years, and set in order the months, and recounted the Shabbats of the years as we made them known to him. And what was and what will be he saw in a vision of his sleep, as it will happen to the children of men throughout their generations until the day of judgment. He saw and understood everything, and he wrote his testimony and placed the testimony on the earth for all the children of men and for their generations. And in the 12th Jubilee, in the 7th week thereof, he took to himself a woman, and her name was Edna, the daughter of Danel, the daughter of his father's brother. And in the 6th year, in this week, she bore him a son, and called his name Methuselah. And he was moreover with the angels Yahuwah these 6 jubilees of years, and they showed him everything which was on earth and in the heavens, the rule of the sun, and he wrote down everything. And he testified to the watchers, who had sinned with the daughters of men. For these had begun to unite themselves, so as to be defiled with the daughters of men, and could not testify against them all. And he was taken from amongst the children of men, and we conducted him into the garden of Eden in majesty and honor. And behold, there he writes down the condemnation and judgment of the world, and all the wickedness of the children of men. And on account of it, Yahuwah brought the waters of the flood upon all the land of Eden. For there he was set as a sign, and that he should testify against all the children of men, that he should recount all the deeds of the generations until the day of condemnation. And he burnt the incense of the sanctuary, even sweet spices acceptable before Yahuwah on the mount. For Yahuwah has 4 places on the earth, the Garden of Eden, and the Mount of the East, and this mountain on which you are this day, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion, which will be sanctified in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout all the generations of the world. And in the 4th Jubilee, Methuselah took upon himself a woman, Edna, the daughter of Azriel, the daughter of his father's brother, in the 3rd week, in the 1st year of this week, and he begat a son, and called his name Lamech. And in the 15th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, Lamech took to himself a woman, and her name was Betanos, the daughter of Barachiel, the daughter of his father's brother. And in this week she bore him a son, and he called his name Noach, saying, This one will comfort me for my trouble and all my work, and for the ground which Yahuwah has cursed. And at the close of the 19th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year thereof, Adam died, and all his sons buried him in the land of his creation. And he was the first to be buried in the earth. And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years, for 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony of the heavens, and therefore was it written concerning the tree of knowledge. On the day that you eat thereof, you shall die. For this reason he did not complete the years of this day, for he died during it. At the close of this Jubilee, Cain was killed after him in the same year. For his house fell upon him, and he died in the midst of his house, and he was killed by its stones. For with a stone he had killed Haavel, and by a stone was he killed in righteous judgment. For this reason it was ordained on the heavenly tablets, with the instrument with which a man kills his neighbor, with the same shall he be killed. After the manner that he wounded him, in like manner shall they deal with him. And in the 25th Jubilee, Noach took to himself a woman, and her name was Emzerah, the daughter of Rachiel, the daughter of his father's brother, in the 1st year, in the 5th week. And in the 3rd year thereof, she bore him Shem. In the 5th year thereof, she bore him Chem. And in the 1st year, in the 6th week, she bore him Japheth. This concludes the reading of Yovheliym Chapter 4. If Yahuwah is giving you any insight or wisdom, please post it in the comments below. Mashbaka, there was several verses that did jump out at me, but I definitely want to get you all's feedback. What are you all's thought about how Yahuwah specifically took time to share wisdom with Cainach? Because obviously in the book of Genesis or Bereshit, we hear of Cainach just barely, and we don't know a lot about him. But definitely between this book as well as the book of Yasher, we get a deeper understanding of how anointed he was and how blessed he was by Yahuwah, and what an example he is to us to this day, and how we should have relationship with Yahuwah and walk with him and live a life in obedience according to Torah. So let me know your thoughts based upon that. Also, if this channel or reading of Yahuwah's word has blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe. Aneya habata mashvaka. I love you, family. Yahuwah barakata. Yahuwah bless you. Shalom.